In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the parking brake shoes on this Ford E-350. Located right behind your rear brakes, let's get started. If your wheel has a hubcap, use a pry bar to pry it off. When you push the pry bar in, go as far as you can and pry it off. Now use a 22mm socket to remove all 8 lug nuts and then pull the wheel off. If your wheel is stuck on, put a lug nut back on so it doesn't come flying off. Tap it with a rubber mallet on the back side of the tire. Take it off. With a 21mm socket, preferably a thin wall socket, and an extension, remove the top caliper bolt. I'm going to leave it in a couple threads so I can hold the caliper while I remove the bottom one. The lower one is right down here, also 21mm socket. Take that out. Remove the top bolt, set it aside, and remove the caliper assembly. This is stuck on the rotor a little bit, so it'll require some prying. Get a pry bar, slide it out. Okay, now when you do this, make sure you have something to hook it on with so it doesn't hang by the brake hose. I'm just going to use a bungee cord to support it. Perfect. Now you can remove your rotor. Now since we're working on the passenger side, our adjuster and this little spring will be at the top. If you're on the driver's side, it's going to be flipped around, so this will be at the bottom. Regardless, same procedure. I'm going to lift up with a screwdriver on this spring here, and then undo and collapse the adjuster. So turn it whichever way is going to make it thread in. This will bring the shoes closer together and make it a little bit easier for you to remove the adjuster. Just spread the shoes apart. Just like that. Give it a slight tap with a hammer. There it goes. Well, the spring also fell out. That was going to be the next step, so remove the adjuster. Remove the spring. Set these aside. If they're in poor condition, you can replace them, of course. It is highly recommended. And if this is seized, you're going to want to unseize it or replace it. Mine is good, so we'll just have to clean this up later and reinstall it. Now you're going to want to pry the shoe out so you can expose the locking pin with that cap and the spring. Grab some needle nose pliers. Very carefully twist this, but make sure it doesn't twist the head of the pin off, and make sure it doesn't spin the entire cap with it like it's doing right now. If it is, you're going to want to hold it with something so you can spin the pin 90 degrees. Doesn't help that this one's quite rusted. Once you do that, this should all release. Take the cap, the spring out, and the pin comes out through the backside. Inspect all of this. As rusty as this is, it is reusable, so I will reuse it. And now the spring is off of the backing shield. We have to do the same exact thing to the other shoe before we take both off. At the bottom, we have to peel the shoes off, which, remember, if you're on the driver's side, this would be at the top. Regardless, take a pry bar and pry against the pivot point. Pry the shoe out from the top. Just want to get this disengaged. There we go. Take this out. Now you can twist these shoes so you can remove the spring. Save the spring if it's in good condition. There are the shoes. This pivot point and parking brake actuator at the bottom needs to move around freely like this. I sprayed mine with rust penetrant and did have to work it back and forth quite a few times with a hammer and some pliers so I can actually free it up. If this doesn't pivot freely like that, the parking brake and the parking brake shoes will not operate as intended. So whether you have to take this off or not, a lot of times you don't to free it up, but just work it back and forth, and once the rust penetrant is out of there, I'm going to blow it out with an air gun. We can add a little bit of anti-seize in there to prevent it from getting stuck in the future, but it is important that this functions. Add a little bit of anti-corrosive coating in there. If you're going to use brake grease, use just a tiny bit. If you're going to use anti-seize, I guess the same thing. You don't want a lot because you don't want this to get on the parking brake shoes. Perfect. Before we put the new shoes on, let's clean off the areas where they ride up against the backing shield. I'm going to scrape the rust off. And then I'm going to go in with a wire brush to clean off the rust that's formed here. Add a thin layer of either brake grease or silicone paste that is rated for brakes, for high temperatures that is, so it doesn't melt off. And you want to do this in the contact areas of the shoes so it doesn't squeak and make noises when you apply the parking brake. And of course, this won't continue corroding. You don't want to put too much so it can run off and get all over the shoes and the inside of the rotor. That wouldn't be good. I also want to put some on the pivot point at the bottom, as well as right here where they sit, the anchor point. Perfect. Now do the same on the other side, and let's put the shoes on. You want to take this lower spring, put it through this upper hole at the bottom, just like that. Hook it in. Do the same over here. And now you want to open these up like a clamshell, put them over. Doesn't really matter which side you put on first. Make sure this lever goes in to the shoe. And hook them over. There we go. Has to line up at the bottom there and kind of fall into place. Now let's clamp these shoes onto the backing plate with the pins. So I'm going to put a piece of wood in here to help hold the shoe while I get that pin through, just like that. Put this in through the backing plate and out through the shoe right there. Now this is going to be the tough part, is lining up the spring and the shoe and the pin and basically everything. Get the spring on. I have the cap between my needle nose pliers. Okay, make sure the pin is facing perpendicular to the cut on that cap, and now you can remove your piece of wood if you used one. Recenter that shoe. Take the adjuster, unthread it all the way. If yours is seized, you're going to have to unseize it or purchase a new one if you can't. This one's actually pretty clean, still even has some grease in there. I will add a little bit of silicone paste. You can use brake grease if that's what you have. You don't need a lot. Just put it on one side of the threads and then thread it on. Doing this will work all that grease into the threads. Any excess will just come out as you tighten it. Perfect. It's nice and smooth. That's what you want. Now let's get the adjuster in. Spread the shoes apart at the top. Slide this in. Okay, just like that. Now we're left with this spring. Hooks onto here, and it's going to have to hook on to that opening. There we go. Let's clean up the surface of the axle where the rotor sits. It's not too bad. It's a little bit dirty on the side and especially in the center here. So I'm going to use a wire brush. If you need to sand it down a little bit, go ahead. Just make sure you don't remove too much material with a coarse sanding disc. Rinse this down with some brake parts cleaner after you're done cleaning it. Apply a thin coating of anti-seize to the surface of the axle. Now you don't want to get it on the lug studs or on the parking brake shoes, so if you have the brushed kind, that's best. I have the spray kind, so I'm just going to protect the e-brake shoes as I spray this. Now slide the rotor on. Press it on all the way, and you want to listen for the parking brake shoes. I can hear them just a little bit, and that's perfect because these are not drum brakes. You don't want them to drag. You want them to be very close, so that as soon as you apply the parking brake, they lock onto the rotor. If they're not close, you want to take that adjuster at the top and expand the shoes a little bit. Of course, you'd want to take the rotor off for that. Put it back on, try it again until you get it just right and you're happy with the adjustment. Now we can grab the caliper, line it up with the rotor, hold the pads so they don't fall out. Perfect. Start your bolts in. Once one is started, you can let go and start in your other one. Now the torque for these is 166 foot-pounds, so let's bottom them out and torque them. Just going to snug them up a little bit. Once again, 166 foot-pounds. There's one. And two. Let's put the wheel back on. Put back all 8 lug nuts. We're going to bottom them out in a cross pattern and also in a cross pattern so that wheel can seat evenly. We're going to torque these to 148 foot-pounds. $148 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. There we go. Double check them if you'd like. The hubcap has a cutout here. You want to line that up with the valve stem so that it can actually fit on. Slide this over and tap it in.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.